Can a group of farm animals represent the complexities of a political system, such as communism? George Orwell answers this question with an emphatic yes in his novel, Animal Farm. This allegorical tale, first published in 1945, uses a simple farm setting to depict the pitfalls and paradoxes of communism. On the farm, ruled by the tyrannical Mr. Jones, an allegory for Russian Tsar Nicholas II, the last Tsar of Russia whose neglect and subjugation of his people led to their revolts, and eventually to his assassination in 1918, the animals are fed up with their mistreatment. A venerable boar, Old Major, an allegory for Karl Marx, dreams of a world where animals live free of human oppression. This dream sparks a rebellion and the animals successfully overthrow Mr. Jones, renaming the farm, Animal Farm. This event parallels the Russian Revolution of 1917, where the Bolsheviks overthrew the Tsarist regime. The pigs, being the cleverest of the animals, take charge, with two boars, Snowball and Napoleon, at the helm. They instill a set of commandments, the most important being that all animals are equal. However, as the plot progresses, the pigs start to show signs of corruption. Napoleon, representing Joseph Stalin, usurps power, expelling Snowball, a symbol for Leon Trotsky. Napoleon then starts gradually changing the commandments to legitimize his actions. The phrase, all animals are equal, morphs into, all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. The windmill is another important symbol in the novel. Initially approved by Snowball to improve the farm's productivity, it becomes a tool for Napoleon to control and deceive the other animals. Its frequent destruction and rebuilding represents the fruitless labor under communist regimes towards progress. The theme of language as a tool of control is also prevalent in the novel. The pigs, by manipulating language and information, control the narrative of the farm. Squealer, Napoleon's propagandist, is a master of spinning words, mirroring the role of propaganda in communist regimes. The novel ends with the pigs behaving worse than the humans they overthrew. So what does Animal Farm tell us about communism? George Orwell provides a trenchant critique of communism, drawing from his own experiences and observations of the political climate of the 20th century. Orwell's critique of communism revolves around several key points. Totalitarianism. Orwell is deeply critical of the totalitarian tendencies within communist regimes. He argues that the concentration of power in the state leads to authoritarian rule, where the government controls every aspect of life, suppressing dissent and individual freedoms. Abuse of power. One of Orwell's major concerns is the abuse of power in communist systems. He contends that the original ideals of equality and justice often devolve into a scenario where a ruling elite exploits their power, creating a new form of oppression worse than the regimes they sought to replace. Propaganda. Orwell argues that in communist regimes, as in other authoritarian systems, the manipulation of language and history becomes a tool for controlling thought and justifying actions of the ruling class. Loss of individual liberties. Orwell expresses concerns about the loss of individual liberties in communist societies. The idea that the state is the ultimate authority can lead to a suppression of personal freedoms, with citizens subjected to surveillance, censorship, and restrictions on expression. Class disparities. Despite the rhetoric of equality, Orwell highlights how communism, in practice, results in the emergence of a new ruling class that enjoys privileges while the broader population experiences hardships. This contradiction between stated ideals and lived realities is a central point of Orwell's critique. In conclusion, George Orwell's Animal Farm is a masterful critique on communism. It uses an array of symbols, themes, and motifs to depict the rise of communist regimes and their devolution into tyrannical governments, worse than the ones that they overthrew.